There are moments in life where everything can change, not in years, not in months, but in a matter of days. What if you were told that the next 22 days could redefine your mindset, your energy, and your entire reality? This is not about wishful thinking. This is about stepping into a structured window of transformation where intention meets discipline and belief becomes your greatest tool. The 22-day manifestation window is your opportunity to reset, realign, and rise into the version of yourself that already exists, waiting to be activated. Most people believe that transformation comes from doing something big, dramatic, and intense, but real change rarely works that way. The truth is, your life is shaped far more by what you do consistently than what you do occasionally. A single burst of motivation might feel powerful in the moment, but it fades quickly, and without repetition, it leaves no lasting imprint on who you are. Small actions, when repeated daily, begin to rewire your mind, your habits, and your identity. It's not about pushing yourself to extremes, it's about showing up in alignment every single day, even when it feels ordinary or unnoticed. When you choose consistency, you are sending a message to your subconscious that this new way of being is safe, normal, and real. Over time, that message becomes your default state. You stop relying on motivation because your actions are no longer driven by emotion, they are driven by commitment. And commitment builds momentum. What once felt difficult starts to feel natural, and what once required effort becomes effortless. This is where true transformation begins, not in intensity, but in repetition. Every small step you take compounds, creating a powerful shift that you may not see immediately, but will undeniably feel over time. The person who takes one aligned step every day will always surpass the person who takes 10 steps once and then stops. Consistency builds trust with yourself, and that trust becomes the foundation for everything you manifest in your life. Most people try to change their outer world without ever addressing the inner system that's creating it. Your subconscious mind is not concerned with what you say you want. It is programmed by what you believe to be true. If deep inside you feel unworthy, uncertain, or doubtful, those hidden beliefs will quietly shape your decisions, your reactions, and ultimately your results. This is why so many people feel stuck. They're trying to move forward with a mind that is still anchored in the past. Rewiring your inner belief system means becoming aware of the thoughts that run automatically and choosing to replace them with ones that align with the life you want to create. It's not about forcing positivity. It's about creating familiarity with a new truth. When you consistently expose your mind to empowering thoughts, you begin to soften the resistance that once felt so real. At first, it may feel unnatural, even uncomfortable, because your mind is stepping into unknown territory. But with repetition, that discomfort turns into acceptance, and acceptance turns into belief. As your beliefs shift, so does your perception, and once your perception changes, your actions follow effortlessly. You begin to make choices that reflect confidence instead of fear, clarity instead of confusion. Over time, the version of you that once felt like a possibility starts to feel like your identity. And when your identity aligns with your desires, manifestation is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that unfolds naturally as a reflection of who you have become. Most people focus entirely on results, believing that once they achieve something, they will finally feel fulfilled, confident, or successful. But this approach keeps them stuck in a constant cycle of chasing. The deeper truth is that results are not the starting point. They are the byproduct of your internal state. Your energy, how you think, feel, and show up creates a signal that influences everything around you. If your energy is rooted in lack, impatience, or doubt, you will unconsciously act in ways that reinforce those emotions, even if you are trying to move forward. This is why effort alone is not enough. Before results can shift, your energy must align with the version of yourself that already has what you desire. This doesn't mean pretending or forcing emotions. It means intentionally cultivating the mindset, an emotional state that matches your vision. When you begin to feel gratitude before receiving, confidence before proof, and certainty before evidence, you create internal alignment. That alignment changes your decisions, your tone, your presence, and even the opportunities you notice or attract. You stop operating from desperation and start operating from calm assurance. And from that place, your actions become more effective because they are no longer driven by fear. The outer world responds to this shift in subtle but powerful ways. People perceive you differently, situations unfold more smoothly, and what once felt distant starts to feel within reach. Over time, you realize that manifestation was never about forcing outcomes. It was about becoming the person whose energy naturally invites those outcomes into reality. Most people underestimate how much of their life is governed by patterns they are not even aware of. These patterns are built through repetition, thoughts, reactions, and behaviors that have been practiced so many times they feel automatic. What feels like personality is often just conditioning running on autopilot. The idea of a focused 22-day window is powerful because it interrupts that autopilot long enough for something new to take root. When you consciously choose different thoughts and actions each day, you begin to weaken the old patterns that once controlled you. At first, the old way will try to pull you back because familiarity feels safe even when it no longer serves you. You may notice resistance, hesitation, or even self-doubt becoming louder. This is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that the old pattern is losing its grip. Each time you respond differently, you create a small break in that cycle. And those small breaks, repeated over days, begin to form a new pathway. Around this 22-day period, something begins to shift internally. What once required conscious effort starts to feel more natural, and the old responses lose their intensity. You are no longer fighting yourself, you are becoming someone new through repeated choice. The key is not perfection, but persistence. Even if you slip for a moment, returning to the new pattern reinforces it again. Over time, the version of you that once reacted unconsciously becomes someone who responds with awareness and intention, and that shift changes not just your habits, but the direction of your entire life. Most people approach manifestation with a quiet sense of doubt, constantly checking for signs, waiting for proof, and questioning whether what they desire will actually happen. This hesitation creates a gap between intention and reality because doubt weakens the energy behind every action. Certainty, on the other hand, is a completely different state of being. It is not loud or forceful, it is calm, grounded, and unwavering. When you operate from certainty, you are no longer asking if something will happen, you are moving as if it already has. This shift changes everything. Your decisions become clearer because they are no longer filtered through fear. Your actions become more consistent because they are driven by trust instead of hesitation. You stop overanalyzing every step and start moving forward with quiet confidence. Certainty also changes how you respond to challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as signs to stop, you begin to see them as part of the process, something that is refining you rather than blocking you. This perspective keeps your momentum intact. The more you act from certainty, the more evidence you create to support it, and this builds a powerful feedback loop. Over time, what once felt like a risk starts to feel natural because your mind has accepted it as your reality. You are no longer dependent on external validation to believe in your path. Instead, your belief becomes self-sustaining. And when your inner state reaches that level of conviction, your outer world begins to reflect it in ways that feel almost effortless, as if life is responding to a decision you made long before the results appeared.